Okay, so this is the art in Cuba. It's my Pinterest page that I made for the project. Pretty proud of it myself. Um, First, I'm going to start off with literature, a form of art in Cuba that really isn't that popular, but I found one literature author, and her name is Ananis Nin. I don't really have many of her works written down, so I couldn't find any. It's really hard to find because it's not that popular in Cuba. Well, I have facts on Cuban literature though. Cuban literature was first began to emerge after the end of the 18th century. In the early 19th century, many writers gained prominence exposing. And that's one of them. Now I'm going to move on to one of the most popular ones is musicians. Abraham Ferrer, for instance, he was born in 1927, died 2005, known for his boleros and guitarist. Abraham helped transform Cuban jazz and made it recognized on a global scale. Thanks to his collaboration in the Buena Vista Social Club in 2000, the artist won a Latin Grammy for Best New Artist, and also won a Grammy 4 years later. Clearly not a new artist by the time he won. And the Buena Vista Social Club is where he's worked. And it's a club that musicians really went to have the musicians that were really not, they were kind of forgotten, and it helped them take over media and be famous again, like have their careers boost. One of a song, this is Celia Cruz, picture above. Okay, it's the young photo of her. She was born in Havana, Cuba, on October 21st, 1925. She first gained recognition in the 1950s as a singer with the orchestra Sonora Messner, circulating in the United States after an accident Fidel Castro. Cruz recorded 23 golden records with Tito, Penta, and Fena All Stars, and other collaborations, so she was pretty famous. I'm going to go down to other, as you can see, really, art is pretty much a hidden gem in Cuban culture. There's just a lot of famous, talented musicians and painters and writers. Ooh, what is going on? Okay, see this picture right here? This dude? Okay. This is Company Sangado. He is one of the most famous, actually. He's probably of his time, is most famous of his time. He was born in November 18th, 1907, and died 2003. He was a Cuban trivia guitarist, singer, and composer who became famous late in life due to the success of the Buena Vista Social Club. See, this Buena Vista Social Club did a lot for musicians, and it made them famous and helped them. This is a part of their culture is music, which is, I'm shocked that it really isn't that famous. They're really talented, and they're called the Night. And this is another picture of Celia Cruz. It says that she was still banned in Cuba, but internationally still famous in the media. Okay, let's move on to art. Down here is actually a pretty cool one. First, let me tell you about their street art, which is just common painters. Like they do murals on the walls, which are beautiful and very detailed and realistic. Right here is a pretty cool one. Down here, see the flowers, the white flowers. This, it looks like it's carved and painted, but it's actually all paper. It's pretty much, she cut it out and made it look super beautiful. All of it, and artist named Elsa Mora She was born in Cuba. She makes it all by paper cut by hand and with one cut at a time using an X-Acto knife and a self-healing cutting mat and paper. That's all done by paper. It's beautiful. I wish I was that gifted. Showing another part of like the gifted artist in Cuba. And then right here is a Cuban folkloric dancer performs the dance of the Yemen goddess of the sea at the Melkon. Like it's not just art, it's beautiful and it really expresses their culture, and which is why art really expresses their culture well, because it really is, instead of writing it down and putting it in history books, they like show it, which is wonderful. This is a painting by Thomas Sanchez, and it was made in 1948. He's a landscape painter, and I'll tell you more about him when we get to the top of the page. It says a lot about him up there, and even more beautiful painting by him. And right here is this art that like common artists make in Cuba. Scrolling up to the top. I actually find all this stuff pretty interesting. It was really difficult to find a lot of art stuff in Cuban culture, because it's really not that famous. Here's another painting that just really describes what they're like and how many wonderful artists there are. Okay, right here is a political Cuban poster that was made by Rini Poltacaro. Let me scroll up so you can see it. Oh, jeez. It was made during the resistance in Cuba. This is just not working for me. Beautiful. There's another two right here. There's another paintings by him, like Rini Potcaro, these two. Now I'm going to try to get up to Thomas Sanchez, excuse me. Right here. He was one of the most important and celebrated living Cuban artists. His work is meticulous and breathtaking, but the objective of his art is the reaction of reality and displaying magnificence in lyrical universe. Very detailed, beautiful artist. And that's to conclude really my project, and just to show the hidden gem of art in Cuban culture that should be really, yeah.